How's it going? So it is important that we first talk about posture and establish the correct setup before we explore any other aspects of cello technique. The correct height of chair is one that enables your hips to be slightly above your knees. So from your hips to your knees, roughly a 30-degree angle would be ideal. If you have a very low chair and your knees end up being above your hips, then in this situation you have to exert core strength to remain upright, as the cello will be on top of you and crushing you. So it's important to get the right height of chair. The cello can then perch itself nicely on your solar plexus and it won't require any effort to exist behind the cello. The technique of sitting. It is important to sit very far forward in the chair. This enables the feet to be connected, very heavy, to the ground, and then we'll be able to play the cello holistically with our body. If we sit very far back in the chair, then our feet become disconnected and we will be playing the cello merely with our arms like this. This would be like throwing just with the arms like this. This would be a very weak way to throw. If we were to throw as hard as we can, we would have to engage our body holistically, starting with our feet gripping the ground. So it is important to sit far forward, as I've said. The position of the shoulders is very important. As you can see, I'm balanced and symmetrical here. This is essential. Too often I see students, through excessive tension in the bow arm, raise the right shoulder, and to make matters worse, dip with the left elbow. As you can see, I'm very unaligned and I'm not playing from a position of symmetry at the moment, and this would be an exhausting way to play and over time could result in injury. So it is important to get good balance and symmetry like this. So when it comes to positioning the cello, I believe it to be effective to explain through the use of geometry and angles. So first I'd like to establish these straight and linear angles in cello playing. I believe in positioning your fingerboard and spike at 180 degrees. In this situation, we will be building consistency with our shifting. If I try and bring the spike into the center, which is a common mistake, too much like this, as you can see, this makes my fingerboard on a diagonal angle, and this is unideal for traversing across the instrument. It is important to build consistency in our daily practice. The other linear angle would be the one across the shoulders. So there should be a cross like this. From this, I'd like to talk about what the arm should be doing, and as you will see, there is a high prevalence of 45-degree angles. So in the left arm, when we're playing on the A and D string, which is most of the time, from the wrist to the elbow, there should be a 45-degree angle. When we are playing on the lower strings, this should change to roughly 90. As you can see, my elbow is now in line with my shoulder, and we would oscillate between these two angles. In the bow arm, there should also be a 45-degree angle from the elbow to the knuckles. This is in order to allow the correct angle of bowing, which is one that follows the curvature of the bridge. If you bow slightly above your bridge, you will notice that it has you on a diagonal angle, let's say roughly 45 degrees on the A string and 45 degrees in the other direction on the C string. The cello itself should be on a 45-degree slope. It's common to see this mistake of students having it very upright. Try and avoid this. And just to reiterate what I already said, from the hips to your knees, there should be a downward slope for about 30 degrees. So now that we've talked about how to sit and how to position the cello, in the next lesson we will talk about how to use the bow.